going.
Nah.
Alright, so that map. We have
It,
a few things to say about it. I mean, obviously we've done it before, and I don't remember what the scores was on the last video,
they were
because
not nice.
I'm assuming they weren't that great. Once we started playing it, we had this. We finally remembered what we forgot. And obviously the second time going through uh, makes it a lot easier to get through because you know where you're going. But it's been what 7, 8 months since we last played it, so
A November ago.
yeah. So
Yeah.
figuring that we were a little lost trying to figure out okay where do we go, but I remember we had to go up at one point or whatever part of the map we were, and it was usually what we had to focus on was parts 3 and 4 of the map. And the improvements, according to the maker or creator or director or whoever did commented, because I don't know what his status with it, I just know he's one of the creators, said that they took away a lot less hordes, improved the timing to make it a lot easier, more adjustable, and that it was in beta, and it still is in beta technically. All right, so let's start off with how we started. We started off bad. Then again, we got a horde right off the bat with tier 1 weapons, as in really tier 0, because we didn't have anything but a handgun. Not that that's a bad thing. I mean, I think we've played maps where you just start off with handguns for the first 2 parts and got through them pretty okay. I would have to say, first part was a little bit more improved because it was a lot more arrows to be like directed to where we had to go. They were
Yeah.
more shown, made it a lot easier to navigate. So directions were there. It felt a lot more fair in the first 2 parts of the map. Almost that it was really doable in a sense. It didn't feel like we were overburdened with so many enemies that would slow us down completely or we'd be lost. And it just overall started feeling a lot easier. I don't know about you guys. To me, it felt a little bit easier as we got started.
Yeah, it overall the map felt easier than from the first time.
Yeah, that was
Sort
the
of.
vibe.
It sort of did, but at some points it was still as it felt still as hard as it was before.
True, yeah, there were
We
parts.
had one spot where there was nothing but hordes and tanks, and they just kept spawning and spawning and spawning.
Well, that's part 4. Let's go back to part 3 for here in a second. Part 3 was the trip back, and that is when we felt that it was at its hardest the first time playing through. I think it was a constant horde that never went away. There really wasn't a way to define a direction at the time, and it was easy to get lost, separated, and we usually had to just go our separate ways and just find a way around. Because if it didn't, we wouldn't know the way to go. And that was the first time playing through. This time, we knew where we had to go because we started remembering it. But it didn't feel as hard. Like, we had a lot more time. It doesn't feel like there was as many horde enemies or special infected that were in our way like it was the first time around. Because I think the first time around, for every, I think 100 zombies, it felt like we ran into a tank on part 3 in the first recording. This one, I think we only had a total of 2 tanks in that whole area for part 3.
No, there were more.
Part 3, not 4. 4 is when it hit harder.
Part 3?
Yeah, part 3, the one where we're going backwards.
That part, yeah.
That one felt so much easier than it did the first time around. When we got to part 4, this might be something you need to adjust. There's a few problems. One, we encountered a glitch right off the bat. That needs to be fixed. You can obviously we'll see it in the playthrough because I'm the one that got stuck for a few minutes. That, and you need to put like tier 2 weapons or just have a fucking ammo set there. So that way we can reload. Because if you don't do either or, it's really difficult to manage ammo up to that point. And especially when you're having the idea of horde after horde after horde, then each horde has a tank.
Something else I noticed that the tanks seem to be almost broken because the tanks wouldn't play the tank music when they're supposed to.
Actually, I played the music all the time, right time for me.
Well, mine's always off, so I couldn't tell that. But I'm sure that could have been your end, Dread. It could have been the game. It's not that big of a deal. I would say knock down the amount of tanks in Part 4, if that's what you got it set down. I mean, it's still doable, but it's a lot more difficult to run through the map. And also, the direction...
I couldn't even find my way through that.
Well, that's what I was getting to. The directional part of it needs to be worked on a bit. Just Part 4, because Part 5 is done fine. Part 3 is done fine, 2 and 1 especially. So 4 just needs a little bit more a direction. Because what you did was you pointed at the ground in bright orange where it's really hard to see. Because we're looking up. We're not looking down on the floor. So maybe decide, put something there that tells us go this way, or make another route, essentially, because it's really difficult to have one route only and not know where that route is. Especially on the roof. That's the only problem. I think we had that the first time around. It was a little bit of a problematic thing. It is also problematic here. Other than that, it is a vast improvement. I don't think we had as much difficulty in it as the first time around. And then, of course, Part 5 comes around, and you fix that helicopter that wasn't working the first time. Bravo. Because it was at first, when we played it the first time, it was a misleading thing. We thought, okay, that's our escape, but it isn't started up now. We just have to wait. And then we find out there's another plane around the near the area where we started at. And then you fixed it to make it work the first time. So, great. That's good on you for that one. It's also seems to be a lot easier to get through. But again, throw ammo or give us a replenishment of tier 2 weapons. Can't stress that enough, especially on a finale, because it's really hard to find weapons usually near the end of the finale. We find more throwables and stuff like that than anything. But again, it's still doable.
And I'd have some type of mechanic or something that holds the players in the fighting area and the map, you know?
Yeah.
Because if they played the map away, they could already know to rush over there before it gets too bad.
Yeah.
You're going to want to do something that makes sure they can't rush to the helicopter early.
On top of that, and this is probably the game's fault, I've noticed this the first time we played through on it before, it's that helicopter. Nothing goes in it besides players. A lot of the horde just see it and then go back out. They'll come to the doorway and then just walk away. And then just hold around. Tanks do the same thing. So do specials. It's literally a way to just kind of sit there, kill the tanks, and just be around everybody. It's almost the safest place on the map at that point, and it's almost broken because of it. So you,
Well,
as Kyo said, block that off until we're ready to move on. Find a way to do it.
Got in.
What?
There was a point where they eventually got in towards the very end.
Yeah, but that's towards the very end, and that's when I was near the edge of it. I was walking out to see if the tank was coming near us or Kyo. I didn't know. Because we heard it, we didn't see it. And then once I heard it was near Kyo, I backed in, and that's when he died. And that's also when all the horde started coming in, because I'm closer. The closer you are to that door, the horde will start coming in. But if you're further back, they just back off.
I know one complaint that I've been having with this map was that there's like almost no melee weapons, and there's almost no melee weapons that have actual reach. They're all really close range melees. There's nothing like I didn't even find a baseball bat till towards the end, or any golf clubs or cricket bats. It's mostly just really short stuff.
Well, there's a couple probable reasons for that. One, not many people like the blunt style weapons of melee in this game. Some do. The baseball bat's one of the better ones.
Everyone just wants the katana.
Yeah,
This is the
usually.
katana.
Yeah. They either want the axe or the katana or the machete because of the sharpness, and it's a lot easier to knock them out.
And katanas are cool and has a lot of cool skins for it.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
Just put in nothing but katanas for melees, and I'd be happy.
I'd like to have the variety, and you do make a good point that we need some of the more ranged items in there.
Because we had almost no melees that had any actual reach. Because we never actually got a break.
I mean, I had an axe basically the entire game.
Same here. I can see where Dread's coming from, though. There is a low abundance of melees, at least variety-wise and range-wise. But I think it's fine as is, though, Dread, because even though there's not a quite big variety, it still makes up for itself by having enough in each stage that we can find one. It may not be the long-range weapons, but it feels like this is something you can be in a real zombie apocalypse thing. You're never going to find all this shit normally, unless you go to a store. But just, yeah, I would agree. It needs some variety to it. Any other points?
I can't think of anything. I mean, it is much improved.
Well, yeah, the time especially improved, because I remember we clocked it in over 2 hours the first time when we reviewed it then. It has.
You should never have a map for Left 4 Dead 2 that takes that long.
There's only a few maps that are exempt from that rule. One is if it's a puzzle-style map, similar to that of Resident Evil, that one map we played that took us 3 hours.
Yeah.
The Silent Hill map is an exception because that's 12 parts.
I guess heavily themed maps.
Yeah, super heavily themed maps that encourage exploration.
But the average map should, I really say, keep them an hour or less.
An hour, I would say as far as maybe an hour and a half if you die. Say there are difficult ones.
If you don't die, if you don't have to restart, an hour.
Yeah. If you design the map to make sure it doesn't force the team to restart unless they're very incompetent, which can happen. Yeah, it should
say something about me.
No, Dread, shut up.
You're
competent. I never said you're incompetent.
I will crawl through this monitor and fucking shove cheesecake up your asshole.
What? Whatever, Dread. Shut up.
Then make Kyo eat it.
No, thank you. I'm good.
I'd like to see you try, Dread, honestly, because you're bigger than me. And I don't think you can fit through that monitor.
You want to fucking bet?
You might get if you get. I mean, one of my models is a 4x3, so you might get real stuck. Anyone gets stuck trying to get through that. I mean, I once played the Ring video on it.
We've
It,
got to
it cut
stop.
her head off.
All right, all right, all right. We gotta stop because we gotta get back to the map. Yeah, you guys improved on the time. You improved on the hordes. You improved drastically in every way we asked you to do it. You know, that is really nice of you guys. I'm glad you did message me. It sucks that you took so long because it would have been better if you had got in touch with us. I don't know what 4 or 5 months ago.
Well, it looks like the version we played was updated last month.
Yes, I know that, but they've been updating it since then. Before then, they've updated it almost once a month after we played it. So
We should never make this a playing maps after every single update they have. We should,
yeah,
you know,
I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I understand that it could have been just like they were trying to improve whatever bugs or something like that, and then they kind of took some people's opinions and threw that in too. Um, I'm glad that you guys did. We rarely get those. It would have been nice though, still to do it like 4 months ago when it probably had all these updated things. But either way, better late than never. Um, I would say this map went from whatever the score is. I'm assuming, based on what we gave it, probably last time it was like a 3-star, maybe less, 2.5, maybe even lower than that.
at the very least, it's a solid 4-star right now.
Yeah, it is improved up to a 4-star. It is a lot more fun to play. Fix some of the minor glitches, like the one thing that hit me on part 4, where I got stuck in the wall with the bot and couldn't get out of it. There's nothing I could have done. That's one thing you could fix.
Hello, wall. Are we friends now?
Up throw in some tier 2 weapons or put an ammo pack somewhere that
And
we
not
could.
flying ammo packs.
Yeah, that's a minor glitch. It's like an ammo stash somewhere for us at the starting area of every part or at the very end of the part. In the safe rooms, at least do that. Kind of get us replenished so we have a chance. And the big one, and this is still something I think we complained about in the first one. Don't allow the specials to spawn when we're in a safe room.
Oh yeah, that was annoying.
I mean, literally, we hear jockeys and smokers and hunters before we even get out the door. We haven't even started. We're just connecting. And that's borderline unfair on its own right. That's something that you should probably work on. It doesn't change much difficulty, but it does hamper our ammo situation if you're not going to allow us to have ammo. And you're going to force us to go to tier 1. You know, stuff like that. So, other than that, you've improved drastically. I applaud you for it. But it still needs some slight improvements. But you got it right. You gone onto the right track. So, anyways, unless you guys have something more to say about it.
No.
My only complaints is with the fucking melees and shit.
Okay. So yeah,
I never really had too many problems except for that fucking part in part 4 where I couldn't figure out where the fuck to go.
well, not all of us did until we kind of started looking around where we actually had to fucking see which way was the right direction. But we already touched up on that. So anyway, hope you enjoy, people that are on my channel that are subscribed to me. Hope you enjoy the video, the playthrough, and this review. I hope you would subscribe more for the new viewers, and to the creator, I hope you keep improving that map, making it that much better, because it's got potential to reach that 5-star. It's almost there.
I
Anyway.
remember if you hump open a watermelon, it will shoot out gold.
God damn it, Dread.
Do you understand the words you are saying? I want to know.
Gold.
Does it make sense to you?
Of course.
If you keep doing that shit there before I end the video, Dread, I'm gonna start calling you Sparkles again.
And
Stop
you
it!
can fuck off.
Please stop that, okay?
Click hold.
I haven't even stopped recording. You guys are just fucking.
I thought you stopped recording, honestly.
No!
I
I'm leaving all this in now. I'm leaving this in. Bye, guys!